Hello and bonjour and salut and coucou and quoi de neuf. It's Corey Fry here, French Fry in Paris. I am broadcasting to you from snowy Montmartre. I see I've got my first live viewer, and I think you're all going to be excited about this one. As I wait for some of you to join, hello everybody. Episode 8 of the series of live video tours of Paris. And we are in Montmartre today, as the title suggests. And what we're looking at here is something very special. The vineyard, the hidden, rather, vineyard of Montmartre. Hello everybody, send me that love, send me those hearts and those thumbs up, and the smiley faces, and the scarf emojis, because I've got a new scarf today that I'm going to show you all. So welcome everybody, we're in Montmartre today, very special. There's still a little bit of snow left here. I'm sure you've heard the news. It's sort of the shot heard around the world that we had a big snowstorm in Paris, a couple of them actually. And here we go. Thanks for all the love and the hearts, everybody. Hi, Vicky. Hi, John. Fantastic to see over 100 of you already. We're looking at the tiny little hidden vineyard on the back side of Montmartre, and that's what we'll be exploring today. So let me give you a little bit of a pan here, and then I'll tell you where I am exactly. Now this vineyard, let's start right off with it with a little bit of history, because if you're joining me for the first time, I do these live walks through Paris in real time, and as a tour guide, I'm able to point out some interesting anecdotes and details. So here we are as the snow-covered vineyard of Montmartre, Le Clos Montmartre as it's called, is in front of us in all its glory. So what happened here? Well, this was actually installed in 1933. It was an empty plot of land, and the urban legend says that a developer wanted to build an apartment complex here on this plot, and the bohemians and artists of Montmartre, which this area is known for, we'll talk about that a little bit later, they protested and petitioned and found that the best way to thwart the developer's plans was to actually plant a vineyard here. That's what the local legend says. Now, that's all well and good, but if you want a good wine-producing vineyard, don't have artists plant it for you, because they have no idea what they're doing. They planted all these the vines, facing the north. We can see the northern suburbs in the distance. And the problem with facing the north is you don't get much sun in Paris. So this vineyard produces wine, and you can purchase it every year, each vintage, but everyone agrees that it's pretty terrible wine. In fact, the New York Times once called it the most expensive bad wine in Paris. But who cares? Because when you're here and there's fresh snowfall and you're looking out over it, who cares what it tastes like? Now, you can buy it. Actually, it's very hard to get, but it's 50 euros a bottle. So it is very expensive, and everyone agrees it doesn't taste great. So, hello everybody. Hello Lisa. Hello Terry Chapman. Thanks for the love, everybody. So how do I get this view of the vineyard? Because let me tell you, you're going to see in a minute that Montmartre is packed today. The streets nearby are just full of people enjoying the ambiance here. And the way that you get this view is you pay 4 euros to get into the garden of the Musée Montmartre, so the Museum of Montmartre. There are a few charming buildings here and a garden in the back. So you don't even have to pay for entry into the museum, which is fine and lovely in and of itself. But you can actually pay just 4 euros and get garden access. So let me show you a little bit. I really knew. Hello everybody. Hello Veronica and Pauline. Thanks for all the love. If you're digging this, again, we're in Montmartre today, episode 8 of our walking series. If you're feeling it and you want to share this with your friends, go ahead and let them know right now. Tag them in the comment section. And there's a cute little gazebo there. Basically what you've got here is a hidden forest, a garden of the Museum of Montmartre. Again, just for 4 euros you can get back here, and we're not done yet. So I want to show you more of this. Hello Eva, I'm so glad Eva that you joined, it's fantastic. So, let's get on the move. Yeah, exactly, don't slip, Brian, that's right. So I tried to wear my shoes that had the best traction today. Let me say hello to you guys for real. Hi everybody, check it out. This is the new purchase, the new scarf. Thanks to all of you folks on my Patreon page. If you're not familiar with that, Patreon is a way for you to become a member of this project and get all sorts of great rewards and special content, exclusive content, extra videos and stuff like that. And with that help, I purchased a scarf because I actually lost mine. So what I'm looking at here is fantastic. I gotta share this with you. The garden of the Montmartre Museum. We can see the bell tower on the left there of Sacré-Cœur. Of course, I'm going to give you a nice view of Sacré-Cœur, as well as the view of the city down below, because that's the magic of Montmartre. We're at the highest natural elevation in the city. And if I back up a little bit, we've got something really, really special. Montmartre was always a place of painters and artists, in particular the Impressionists. So what you see in front of me here is actually a swing that is a reference to a famous Impressionist painting by Renoir, because Renoir actually spent several years living and working in this complex that now houses the museum. And he painted a famous picture called La Balançoire. And if you ever get a chance to look at that, it's in the Musée d'Orsay. Just a gorgeous picture of a girl on a swing. So in honor of that and the fact that Renoir would have lived here and worked here, they put a swing with a spring just in case some of the heftier tourists want to take a seat on it. I don't believe it's the original swing from Renoir's painting, but it's certainly lovely. So let's get on the move. Hello, Sharon. Hello. So it continues here. Let me show you this. If you're in Montmartre, I mean, I really love this spot. I can really recommend it to you if you want to get away from the crowds. As you'll see a little bit later in our walk, Montmartre is packed today. People are enjoying their Saturday afternoon, just as we are. Hi, Missy. I was really crossing my fingers, everybody, that there'd still be snow in Montmartre, and I was so happy that I can show some of it to you. So again, these are the spaces that Renoir himself, the Impressionist, would have inhabited and worked in. They've got a beautiful recreation of an artist's studio in this museum that was actually used by Susan Valadon and her son Maurice Utrio, rather, easy for me to say. And I'll give you one last look here before we hit the streets of Montmartre. There's a little bit of Paris Zen for you. Now Montmartre, if you're not familiar with it, it's frankly considered to be a village within the city. It used to be outside of the city limits. We're in the 18th arrondissement. Outside the city limits, and then when Paris expanded, it became part of Paris. But it's still, if you know where to look, you can really find that sort of village atmosphere. So we're going to get out of the museum. Bonjour, merci. Through the gift shop. Of course, that's how you exit. Shall I buy any treats for all of you here? Some little souvenirs and whatnot? All right, here we go. And out into the streets. Hope you all enjoyed that little look. Again, that is one of my hot tips for you today, is that if you're in Montmartre and you want to see a quiet piece of it, get a little solitude, then go ahead and spend €4 and enjoy the gardens of this museum. Former home of Renoir. I was actually an old art school kid from way back, and so I used to adore the Impressionists just through textbooks and on the other side of the world, and I never ever thought I'd be here, not only exploring the streets of those artists, but sharing it with all of you. Thanks for all those hearts and the thumbs up, everybody. Go ahead and tag one of your friends down in the comments if you want them to join this right now. Again, this is episode number 8 of my series of live video tours. I do this every week, and if you're just joining us for the first time, this is the part where I give my spiel that I'm Corey Fry, a French fry in Paris. I'm a tour guide, blogger, and photographer, and I like to give you all walks through Paris in real time. There's a little plaque above this door. We're on the Rue Courtauld, number 6 Rue Courtauld. And that little plaque reminds us that the composer Eric Satie, S-A-T-I-E, Eric Satie, beautiful pianist that you definitely want to check out, he resided there. Let's see if I can manage to sing a couple of bars of his famous music. He did these beautiful piano waltzes, and he did these melodies like na 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 na. So I hope some of you recognize that. I didn't plan on singing for you today, but hey, it's live. As we head to the sort of more animated downtown section of Montmartre, here we go. Right here we've got something that is not part of a church. It's actually an old reservoir, a water reservoir. If you can imagine the highest elevation in Paris, really hard to pump water, impossible to pump water up to the hill. So the water would be gravity fed, and we've got a beautiful reservoir here, and at the base of it, a little park. That's also a pretty good spot with some benches if you want to get away from it all. While we're here, I'm going to take you to a lovely staircase that descends down the northern side. Hope you're all feeling good today. I'm feeling great. Thanks, Terry. Glad you enjoyed the scarf. It's nice and warm, actually, which I love. I want to thank all my people on Patreon. who are supporting this project and being part of it. And hopefully you're enjoying some of that exclusive content that I've been giving you on Patreon. And I plan to give you a lot more. Hello to my friend from Syria. I just missed your name, it flew by, but I want to say hello to you and give you a shout out. Thank you. Look at this scene. So again, the thing about Montmartre, we're on a hill. It's all about winding streets, village atmosphere, and these staircases with the classic street lamps, right, running down the center. We're looking northward, in fact, beyond Paris, out into the suburbs. But we're going to head towards Sacré-Cœur, one of the great highlights of this area. Hi, Missy. Super fan Missy Lamb. You are all so fantastic. I want to remind everybody, again, if you're new to this series, we are going to do a cafe chat after this video. There will be a second broadcast immediately following it where we can sit and have a cafe chat. As of now, that is exclusively for my members on Patreon that are members of the cafe club or higher. So we're going to have a nice little private chat at a cafe. I've got a great spot picked out for you. That will happen after this walk. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. Alan, hello. Robin Hurwitz, how's it going? I recognize that name. Cindy White. It is a nice day for a cafe and a crepe. I don't know the exact temperature right now, but it's cold enough that my hands are slightly numb, but that's all right. That's why we're here. So, here we go. This area, hello Phyllis, hello Ellen. I'll take you down this street. See if I can make it through this wave of people. Again, we're in Montmartre, and why this area is so special is it used to be a village outside of Paris. It used to just be orchards and rivers and vineyards. And now, even though it's been developed since the 19th century, you really get a sense of being in a more sort of personal space, a cozy space. Certainly cozy on a Saturday when everyone's here. Okay, I've got you back. Sorry folks if you lost the connection a little bit there. Here we are, Sacré-Cœur. I wanted to give you this beautiful view here. Look at that, Sacré-Cœur. Started in the 1870s, a beautiful Byzantine-style basilica. It's actually not really French at all in style, but it's just stunning, and it sits like a sentinel on top of the hill looking down over Paris. Yep, sorry about the signal, folks. Can't do much about that. It just sort of comes and goes. That's the beauty of live video, I guess. Okay, here we go. Walking along Sacré-Cœur. Let me give you a view of that dome again. And we are heading toward a beautiful view of all of Paris down below. Hopefully you're all connected again. I did lose you for a minute there. We're walking along Sacré-Cœur. Now, Sacré-Cœur is an interesting monument because it's white. It's very white compared to other churches in the city. And that's because it has a special kind of stone with a chemical inside of it. And the chemical is called calcite. And it's this white chemical that is excreted from the stones whenever it rains. So essentially when it rains, when this building gets wet, it whitens itself. It cleans itself. So that's one reason why Sacré-Cœur is so special. Let me show you the view. You can see the statue of Saint Louis, one of the kings of France from medieval times. Thanks for the hearts, everybody. Here we go. One of the fun parts of Montmartre is this view here, highest natural elevation in the city. And I'm going to give us a nice vantage point. I mean, come on, how good is this? I mean, it's a good day to be alive, isn't it, everybody? I'm so glad that I can share this with you. And because I've got an extension here, I can actually give you a slightly higher perspective than you would normally get as I navigate through this very substantial crowd today. Okay, here we are. Let's enjoy this. Talk about a moment of Paris Zen, everybody. There you go. So we're looking right straight through the center, the historic center of the city. Some rather nice colors in the sky here as we're heading toward dusk. Really, really lovely. So you can't make it out in the video perhaps, but we can see Notre Dame from here. We can see the colorful rooftop of the Pompidou Center. We can see the Pantheon. Can't see the Eiffel Tower from here, but don't worry, I'll take care of that in a moment. So I just want to give you a moment to soak this in. I'm so glad you all can join me here. Oh, I think I lost you there for a moment. That's all right. Don't worry, I'm going to give you a nice view here. Sacré-Cœur, we have these two beautiful equestrian statues, these bronze oxidized statues. The one on the left is a saint called Saint Louis, the medieval king from back in the day. And on the right, we have Joan of Arc, another saint. We talked about Joan of Arc last episode, episode 7. So go back and check that out. I have a YouTube channel, if you don't already know that, where you can watch the replays of this of the series. So we're not going to go in the church. I'm pretty sure I would lose you in there. But isn't that stunning? The Sacré-Cœur and the view one more time because it's so good. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go down the stairs here if I can manage it. Do you see the people here? Do you see the crowd? Everybody's enjoying this view today. Every weekend, it's sort of like there's a major event, and the event is just the view. Okay, let's make it down the stairs here without tumbling. You always got to jostle for space when you're around here on the weekend. While I'm making my way down the stairs, I want to thank again all of my Patreon members. There's a link down in the description here. If you're not yet a Patreon member and you want to become one, why would you want to do so? Well, because I'm giving all sorts of exclusive content, including blog posts and photos and video clips. You can also get discounts on my actual tours when you come through here. You can get PDFs of the tours. After this, my Patreon members, according to their pledge, will be able to get a PDF of this walk and see exactly what we saw and exactly the things that I mentioned. So, I want to show you another part of the view. I'm going to speed up a little bit here. That's the funicular, the little sort of trolley car that gets you up and down the hill if you need to. I don't know if any of you have used that before. And I'm going to take us around here. Boy, it's packed today. I thought that the cold weather might keep a few people away, but nope. Let's check out this view here I want to show you. It's a lot about views today and those sort of meditative moments. Say a goodbye to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. The Sacré-Cœur has an interesting tradition. There is an inn next to it, and it's run by some nuns, a bunch of nuns. And if you rent a room there, you can come from all over the world. They give you private access into the basilica at all hours of the night. So that means that there's been someone praying inside that church for 130 years, essentially nonstop. That's an awful lot of praying. So I want to show you the rooftops here before we move on. We're going to check out the artists in Montmartre as well, see what they're up to today. Someone asked if the Eiffel Tower could be seen from here. Interesting that you would ask that right at this moment. That's where we're headed. I can show you one view of it here. Y'all see that? Maybe you can take a screenshot for your screensaver on your computer. These rooftops, these classic zinc rooftops, and the chimney pots, which my wife adoringly calls the Mary Poppins chimneys of Paris. So there's one view. Let's talk about a little bit of Paris Zen. And let me show you this last view, and we'll pop over to Place du Théâtre. La da 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 da. Here we go. And there it is. Sorry. we've got a branch there. Let me move so the branch isn't in the way. Pardon. Again, I'm jockeying for space here. There we go. I don't know, that antenna there probably doesn't even work anymore. And I know a lot of people wish that antenna would be removed by the owner. So, there you go. Okay, everybody, let's continue. A lot of people ask me when I give tours of this area, because the idea of this walk is also to give you a taste of what I do when I give my walking tours of Paris. I am a full-time tour guide and blogger, and people come meet me almost every day for walks just like this, and this is meant to be a little taste. A lot of people think that this structure just to the west of Sacré-Cœur is part of the church. It looks like it is, but it's actually another reservoir for water, again to gravity feed water to the apartments back in the day. Let's go see what the artists are up to at Place du Théâtre. That's another iconic address of this neighborhood. Thanks everybody for joining. Let me just say hello to you again and show you my new scarf. Hold up. If you're new to this series, you might think it's weird that I'm talking about my scarf, but I know a lot of you wanted to help me get a new one. I lost my favorite one on the train, so for now I like this. It's super warm, so that's very useful. And we are at Place du Théâtre, and I want to show you what the artists are up to today. Super packed. So this has been called the largest outdoor community of artists in the world. There are actually hundreds of them that come on different days. And what's going on here is you can't just come as an artist and set up your work. You can see some gentlemen doing some portraits here. You can't just come and set up your work. You actually have to apply to the city of Paris. And if you are accepted, after you submit a portfolio, then you're allowed to rent 1 little square meter of this square. And the only caveat, the only rule is that you must paint original artwork on site. So it's a cold day. Not too many artists have braved the elements, but this is Place du Théâtre. And this is a particularly iconic view here. Let me get down and give you a composition. If you like what you see, hit those hearts, hit those smiley faces. I appreciate it. That helps us to spread the word. And there you go. Doesn't get much better than that. And all of this art is for sale. You can get a portrait done. There's a section here for portrait artists. Da-da-da-da. And that's the Place du Théâtre. Let's move on. Let me check the time here, how we're doing. All right, a few more minutes. I'm trying not to slip. I'm going to try to avoid the crowds a little bit by going down a quieter street. We're going to get another quick view of the city down below with our elevation here. Just look. We can see the Montmartre Tower in the distance and another classic staircase. I think this is really worth a look. Now, you may have heard of the love locks of Paris. People can't help themselves and they put a bit of love here on the staircase. So, doesn't get much better than Montmartre. Let's continue through here. Pardon. Lovely little detail here. This door, if you can make it out, has a little bit of Art Nouveau. The Art Nouveau style, just really prevalent in this area. At the turn of the century, the Belle Époque of Paris, this was the style inspired by sort of cat eyes and vegetation and nature and plants and things like that. So just a little bit of a glimpse of it, the Art Nouveau. Trying to avoid the puddles here. Hope everyone's enjoying this look at wintry Montmartre. It's so rare that it snows in Paris that when it happens, there's really a sense of event here. People adore it. I've always dreamt of living in this area. My goodness. Joanna, I already showed the funicular. You can check out the replay. That will be posted immediately on this Facebook page. If you missed any part of the early section, then you can go back and watch the replay. So, we have the Salvador Dali Museum over here to the right, which actually deserves more credit than it gets. I think people kind of overlook the Dali Museum. And about 3-4 more minutes and I'm gonna wrap up this video and go to the cafe chat so we can have a talk. The cafe chat, as a reminder, is now for my Patreon subscribers, the members of the Patreon family. If you're in the cafe club or higher over there, and if you're interested in Patreon, in sort of supporting the project and being part of it, you get a lot of great rewards and things like that if you sign up. And you can check it out. There's the link in my description. So, let me get you to this next section. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. I'm going to have a little bit of FaceTime with your tour guide. Roma says, is it your favorite neighborhood? Between Montmartre and the Marais. I think those are my two. And maybe Saint-Germain-des-Prés. So, what's going on? Yeah, Place d'Alida is great. Maybe I'll show you that when I do another Montmartre video. Or if you take a tour with me in Montmartre, I definitely show you Place d'Alida. Carl Fry is sharing the link to my Patreon page. Thank you, sir. Yes, Andrea, I love that you're a member as well. Let me show you what's going on here. Sorry. Okay. Very, very populated spot. Let me show you a fun sign over here at La Bonne Franquette. And then we'll wrap things up here. So it's called La Bonne Franquette. The food's not bad. I've eaten here before. We're on the Rue Saint-Rustique. And if you look between the two windows, just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, the footsteps that we're walking in, look halfway down this panel. Degas, Cézanne, Toulouse-Lautrec, Renoir, Monet, and Van Gogh himself, they would have all been patrons here at La Bonne Franquette. And again, as a former art school kid and a lover of Impressionism, it's just such a treat to walk through Montmartre. By the same token, on the same street, which is another vintage village sort of atmosphere, another sign here, Le Consulat. They say this is the oldest building in Montmartre. On the second line of the text, painters like Picasso, Van Gogh, Toulouse-Lautrec, Monet would have come here for a coffee. I always wonder, if I had walked through here in the 1800s and seen all those impressionists hanging out, these unknown artists, would I have thought that they were cool? Would I have thought that they were just drunks? I mean, what would I have thought if I was looking right over here and I saw Renoir next to Monet, next to Degas, next to Cézanne? What would I have thought? What would I have said to them? Those are the kind of things that I like to meditate on when I'm here in Montmartre. Okay, everybody, so I'm going to wrap things up here. Let me say goodbye to you. Again, for those of you on Patreon, part of the Cafe Club and higher, you can join me for a cafe chat in a couple of minutes. Oops, sorry, I pulled on my mic wire there. I'm going to show you a really great cafe with a great view, so we're going to have a chat there. If you're interested in following me on Patreon, there's the link in the description. Also, everything's in the description, basically. If you want to take a tour with me in Paris, if you just want to check out my photography on Instagram, you got everything down there, okay? So the replay will be posted immediately if you want to watch it. I'll see you next week for episode number 9 of my live video walks, and I hope you enjoyed this little look at snowy, wintry Montmartre. So I'll catch you next time, and remember, if you can't bring yourself to Paris, then I'm going to bring Paris to you. Every week, baby. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Happy Paris dreaming. Bye.